What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another video. This is going to be the first showcase we're going to be doing, and we're going to start right at the top where MH Ken has come out. Now, if you guys don't know, Monster Hunter and SFD have done a collaboration if you're just joining the game, and this is now the most controversial character that's been released because of the changes from the other versions. Now, I don't want to go into the other versions because, hell, we shouldn't be comparing. We know global players get the shaft all the time, but what I want to do today, guys, is go through a thorough investigation of how the character plays, the benefits that he offers you as a player, how much he's going to cost, and I'm going to be completely transparent on that, whether he's worth it, and I'm going to showcase him in a couple matches just so you guys kind of see the way to use him, how he plays out, and we're going to talk about all of his skills and why MH Ken, to me, is easily the top 2 units in the game next to Bison. All right, so let's get into it first. Let's not pull any punches. The first thing I want to talk about is his price tag, okay? So I'm going to show you guys what it cost me to get him, and then you guys can decide whether you want to wail on it or not. Now, you're very limited time left in terms of how long he can be summoned for, and the event for Monster Hunter is almost ending. So if you are just joining now and you're doing it because of him, before you start summoning, hear me out and please take a look at what I've had to go through in order to get him. Okay, so first thing, I've hit the full 360 wishes. So in order to get, and this didn't take me to SSS+5, just so everybody's aware, this took me to, I believe, SSS+1, maybe +2 if I got lucky. Okay, so that is a full 360 summons in order to get him. So as you can see here, total wishes 843. I wasn't kidding, guys, when I told you to get SSS+5 it does take a lot. Now take away 40 of those, so let's say 803 is what I was at, because 40 of those actually belongs, sorry, no, take away 50 of those. You know what, maybe take away 60 of those. So take away 60. Let's say 780 pulls, okay? Because 60 of those belong to kills of dragons and the daily wishes and other things like the portals that we just got. So there's a couple extra bonuses here and there from wishes, but let's say 760 summons to get him to SSS+5. Now, I'm going to show you guys real quick where he's at. This is my character here. Like I mentioned, SSS+5. He does have a little unique icon that nobody else does have in the game right now, and that's his crown with what looks like a I don't know, a circle shape and a star. It does say this is an exclusive fighter. This is my character here, just so you guys can see. He is fully maxed out, and I have his full vehicles. Now, vehicles are going to add another price tag to this, roughly about 1K. So, what did it cost me to get Ken? Total, and I've said this in my other video if you've seen it, I'm Canadian, so it costs 3K. All right, and I'm going to go to the mall and show you guys here that I'm not lying. If I go to Limited and Gore Magala shops, you can see here everything here has been bought out up to the 712. So if you add up all of that, that's roughly about $2 grand just to get Ken to SSS+5. All right. Now, I will preface this as well, too, and I will mention that I have, since the event has gone on for a few days, got an extra copy of Ken, extra 2 copies of Ken, actually. So I could have probably, if I was a little more patient, saved myself, give or take $500, $600. So for those who are starting to get maxed out vehicles, to get maxed out SSS+5 Ken, roughly, as a Canadian, $2,500. As an American, probably about $1,800 to $2,000 for this character to be completely maxed. Now, going to what this character offers and why the hell would people spend this? Well, here we go. Let's get into the character himself and talk about why he's so unique and what he brings to you to the table. So, first off, he's a bruiser, okay? So the first thing you need to notice is that he's a fighting style savage character, so he does offer plus 25 attack to all other fighting style savage characters such as Bizangi, for example, right? He is balanced fighter. Balanced fighters are great because they have a good balance between being able to be tanky and being able to dish out DPS. Now in Ken's situation, he does a lot more than that, and we're going to go through his kit and talk about that, right? Now he is a power type fighter, which means his equipment is going to be power equipment, mostly HP based and attack based, which is great for him, and he does sit on the faction of Infernal, which is going to sit with Jury right now and Bison. So again, all great things for this character, and let's talk about his skills now. Right? So what makes Ken so unique is literally his passive, but there's actually a lot more to him than that. So let's talk about his super. So Tetsuzakano essentially is a single target damage hit, which does 580% of attack at base level. It actually allows Ken to have damage resist up by 30%, which makes him extremely damn tanky. And it also does a massive knockback, and I'm going to show you guys that in actual gameplay, okay? That knockback is essential because when you knock back a character, combos 2 and 3 that he has here will actually reach the second and third opponent right away. If you finish that full combo, you can actually probably knock out a second or third character, or at least bring them down to minimum 25% HP left, which is crucial in late game and in PvP. Okay, so his actual special does quite a bit. It makes him tankier, it lets you knock back and reach out, and then if you get him to level 2, which you will as you level up, he actually does a 30% chance to stun the moment the fight starts using the Dragon Rage Curse, which is his passive, and that actually happens as soon as the fight starts. So there's a 30% chance, a 30% chance to have a 3-second stun on all opponents, which is extremely epic, guys. From a PvP perspective to a PvE perspective, Ken brings a lot with his special. And then if you level up to level 3, it actually increases the damage from 580 to 638, so substantial increase there, and then it gives the damage resist up by another 5%. Now the base chance here is affected by the accuracy and effect resistance. So the higher the effect accuracy you have, the higher the chance of stun. The higher effect resistance the opponent has, the lower chance to stun. So that base 30% can go higher or lower based on your stats and your opponent's stats. So keep that in mind. Now I want to showcase this in an actual fight and explain to you why it's so important in PvE and PvP. Okay, let's jump into combo 1, which is considered his combo 2. So this skill, and this is what makes Ken unique, he is a combo user without actually having him to perform combos. So as long as the other team members are performing combos, he just joins in. So he actually adds an extra layer of combos to your really already existing combo, giving you 4 combos instead of, or 4 units instead of 3 units attacking. Okay, so what happens here is the skill gets triggered automatically as soon as somebody performs combo 1, does not affect combo 2, and does not trigger combo 3. So what he does here, he does a spin drive slash that delivers a heavy hit to multiple targets within range, dealing soul damage equal to 240% of attack. Soul damage is crucial because that's one of the best damage in the game. Now, here is the cool part about it. If Gore Magala Ken is inflicted with Dragon Rage Curse, which we'll get into, that's his passive. So if he has that passive on him, he instantly gains 25% lifesteal rate while performing the skill, which means as the fight continues, he will continue getting HP back as long as that curse is still on, right? And again, we'll talk about the passive very shortly. When the target carries Dragon Rage Curse, the fighter has a 60% base chance to inflict Weaken. Weaken is incredible because it decreases attack by 5% for 15 seconds and stacks up to 10 times. So that is something that Bison provides. That is something people work off of, like Jury. So he already brings buffs and debuffs already from his skill 2, right? Now let's go to his skill 3, which is his combo 3. Now this unleashes automatically after a team member performs combo 2, which is amazing. So it means it's happening earlier on in the combo session. So here he slashes multiple targets within range 2 times, dealing soul damage equal to 360% of attack with a 20% chance to deal double damage. Now, as you get to level 2, that 20% chance becomes triple damage, and lastly, 20% chance becomes quadruple damage. It gets nutty if you actually proc that quadruple damage, especially with his fighting spirit available, and we'll talk more about that in the character design, okay? Now, what makes him the absolute most unique character outside of the fact that he does his own combo along with your other guys, and he's not part of that combo list, is his passive. Now, this is a very confusing passive to a lot of people, so I'm going to do my best to explain this to you guys by going a little slower. So after the battle begins, so essentially as soon as the battle begins, a curse appears on both yourself and the opponents. So your team and the opponent's team. It happens every 25 seconds and lasts for 15 seconds. So while this curse is active, all fighters, including yourselves, lose HP equal to 30% of Gore Magala Ken's attack every second. It's true damage, which means defense, resistance does not matter. It will rip right through all that. It's true damage, which is insane. So there is no stopping it. To remove Dragon Curse Rage earlier from the entire team, a single fighter must deal that exceeds 1,000% of Gore Magala Ken's attack before the curse expires. So essentially what that means, one single fighter has to equal 1,000% more damage than Ken's actual attack. So this is his attack right here. It has to be 1,000% more damage than that within the 15 seconds for that to expire, okay? Now what happens if that expires? In level 2, if the enemy team fails to remove Dragon Rage Curse, so if they don't do enough damage before it expires, all enemies deal 25% less damage for 12 seconds. Now think about that, guys. Weaken does 5% only. You need 5 of those stacks to equal 25%. This does an instant 25% less damage for 12 seconds. All right, that's crazy. Now level 3 gets even crazier. If your team successfully removes Dragon Curse before it expires, so the other one was the enemy team, now it's your team. If you guys remove it before it expires, all your teammates deal 25% more damage for 12 seconds. Can you imagine the amount of damage you're pulling off in PvE, PvP, events, bosses, you name it? He brings in so much utility. The fact that he reduces damage, he increases your damage, and then lastly, the fourth one, reducing the damage required for your team to remove Dragon Rage Curse is down to 800% rather than 1,000, and the enemies is up to 1,200, giving you a way better chance to perform this level 1 and 2 skill, level 2 and 3 skill. So this in itself, guys, should blow your mind. Ken is an absolute powerhouse juggernaut. If he did have revive like Bison, he would be literally the most unstoppable character probably for a very long time. So I'm telling you now, if you have not played with him the proper way, you don't understand his kit, you got to start figuring it out, because this man is built to be long lasting. All right, so that is a skill. Now let's talk a little bit about his actual fighting spirit. Okay, I'm going to just use mine as an example. Actually, you know what, we won't use mine, we'll go back. Let's go back. We'll go to gallery and we'll actually view the full percentage. So level 40, mine's at 33, I'm not even at 40. So here you see the percentages you get based on that. HP bonus is 33%. Again, he's a bruiser, you want a lot of HP. His attack bonus is 28%. Pressure is great because that avoids dodge. And healing rate, because this is great because he needs to get healed, number one, because he's a bruiser, and the lifesteal gets affected by this. So it's 25% becomes 31%, okay? Here is what it does. Every time you unleash a combo, okay, with other people, you have a 20% chance to grant yourself sharpness. This stacks up to 3 times and cannot be dispelled. When the fighter has sharpness, regular attacks consume 1 sharpness to perform sharpen. Delivers a heavy hit to the nearest target, dealing soul damage equal to 240% of attack and filling your super gauge by 100. So we're talking about utility. That's insane. Increase your super gauge, plus do way more soul damage on top of what you're already doing. And on top of that, he does a Gore Magala blast to pull in the enemy tag unit into the fight, and you get to damage that unit as well. So the 4th unit, whether it's Elena, Guy, or whoever, who's currently just chilling in the back, minding their own damn business, is pulled into the fight. And like I told you, because he does a knockback, he now gets to hit every opponent on the screen. That is nutty. All right. Now his unlocked at +5 assist skill takes effect when the fighter is in assist position. When the assist fighter deals damage with a super combo, all enemies are inflicted with Dragon Curse. Okay, that's crazy because he instantly allows that. Limited to once every 30 seconds, so if he's not on the field, you can still use the Dragon Curse combo. While the curse is active, each target loses equal to 20%, not 30%, of his attack, so it's a little lower. To remove Dragon Curse Rage, the single fighter has to deal 1,000%, like we talked about before, and if the enemy team fails, they do 15% less damage instead of 25, and have their damage reduction reduced by 15 for 12 seconds. So the percentages are lower if he's an assist unit, but he's still an incredible assist unit for that alone. All right. Now you can see here, Gore Magala Blast inflicts Dragon Rage on all enemies. A 10. This one actually is right here, the blast, which usually pulls in the 4th person. Now it does damage to everybody. At 20, when in the starting lineup, obtain 1 stack of sharpen at the beginning of the battle. So right away, you're already in ahead of the game by having 1 sharpen, so you're doing more damage. And a +30 increases the chance to acquire sharpens to 30% instead of 20. Charge Dragon Slash consume sharpen to perform a follow-up sharpen attack. So you add an additional attack to your already combo that you have going. Like, if this hasn't blown your mind yet as a player, guys, I don't even know what to say. For me personally, reading that kit was like, yo, this is a no-brainer as someone who plans to play this game long term. But with that being said, keep in mind, it's a lot of damn money. So now the question stands, is it worth the money? So I'm going to say this. It is not worth getting SSS+5 if you can't afford it. Absolutely not. If you can get SSS, then great. I think that's all you need personally with him. But if you're going to min-max and be like a whale, SSS+5 is obviously what you're going to go for, okay? So I don't think it's worth the price tag that he's at, but he's definitely the top 2 characters easily. Now I want to go through the garage real quick, guys, and what the 6 cars do, okay? So Curse Nightmare, if you get 3 of 3 cars, those 3 of the 6, the enemy team fails to remove Dragon Curse before it expires. All enemies cannot receive healing or shields for 6 seconds. If your team successfully removes your curse, you actually get additional healing and shields that do 35% more for 12 seconds, so you get double that. So your healing does more, and your shields will absorb more. So that's insane. That's utility again for your healers, and that's what you want to do with Ken. You want to bring additional support because he's an additional damage dealer that isn't part of the combo lineup, right? So 6 of 6 though, if your team successfully removes Dragon Curse Rage before it expires, the enemy team instantly gets an expiration. They don't even get a chance. If they're even close, they're like 1,100, and we're almost there. If your team does it, they immediately lose all their progress and they consider it a failure. So all of those extra bonuses automatically affect them, and you're way ahead of the game. So these cars are almost essential to him for end game content. All right. Now I want to actually jump into this real quick and kind of use him. Let's use him in. So here's the problem. I can't actually use him in my 3740 because the team is way too strong and I'm paywall blocked now. I actually can't use him in Supreme Fist because, unfortunately, if you take a look here, and I think I showed you guys this last video, I need to get stronger. I need 27 million. So the way I'm going to use him here, guys, I'm going to show you how he works in his, not in his trial. You know what we can do? We can go into, let's go to global operation. We'll jump into inverse world. I'll just show you a quick fight here. I won't even put any of these into play, all right? Let's just do one, I guess, here. We'll do, after the battle begins, the enemy unleashes a random skill. Sure, let's go. We'll do that, all right? We're going to just make this simple. I'm going to just show you guys how strong he is, okay? So we'll fight this team here. Here's my lineup, okay? I've got Bison, I've got MH Ken, I've got Gen, and I've got Rose. Now, my usual lineup, if I want for survivability, I'm going to do a little switch up here for you guys. I'm going to put in Elena here, and I'm going to put in Rose here. So now the two support I was talking about makes him almost unbeatable. With Ken, I'm going to give him Gen instead because I like that mirror image for extra damage and extra utility. As you can see here with this lineup here, I get a full faction reward, and the three of them provide pressure, speed, and defense bonus, making him faster because he's fairly slow, and also provides him the defense buff to be a little more tanky. Now for EX moves, right now they don't matter because I'm just showcasing what he does, but let's get into it and actually show you guys how Ken works. I'm going to use him as my ultimate skill, so I'm going to go ahead and take ×4 off, and I'm going to go Ken first. Watch this knockback. Boom. Look at this. Second, third, fourth, fifth. What did I tell you? That knockback, and I'm going to do it again for you guys, okay? That knockback helps push the first character all the way at the end of the screen, right? Let's look at it again. Helps push that character all the way to the end of the screen, which provides Ken the ability now to hit second, third characters, and he brought in that fourth character. There's Elena right there, completely destroying everybody, all right? If you look at stats, like, he does so much damage right now. This is a little bit unfair because I am a bit ahead of the curve in terms of damage here, or in terms of CP. I am ahead of these guys, so it's really hard to show you guys how much he does there. But what I can maybe do here is kind of show you guys a monster invasion hunt. Let's just see if he's on the red, because I only want to do it on the red, and I'm going to use Gen as my main character for damage here. Is he on red? No, he's on blue. Okay, you know what? This is probably going to be a little less in damage because he's not enraged. You do way more damage when he's enraged. But I'm going to show you guys anyways what Ken can do here with this team. Okay, now Gen is my go-to damage dealer for this fight. I'm going to put... yeah, you know what? This is fine. So watch Ken and how much damage he does, okay? I just want to show you guys just being a character just to be there, and the amount of utility he provides, and the amount of buffs you get, and the amount of damage he just does by adding combos, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and use Gen here real quick. And we're going to go ahead and do his EX move. I haven't even talked about this, but that's a whole separate video, okay? So let's do this real quick. Now, as you can see here, Ken is providing combos along the way, right? Now, keep in mind, I'm the, I think maybe second place damage here with 129 million or 123 million. I won't get as much here just because he's not enraged. I usually do it during enraged fights, but right now, Ken is pretty much throwing in all of his combos while these guys, see when this combo's happening? I'm going to show you here real quick. When this combo is happening right now, right here, Ken is going combo, and he stops at the second one, obviously, right? So keep that in mind. He's adding in, and his Dragon Rage Curse is also being up here every 25 to 30 seconds, which is providing me a lot more damage, right? So keep that in mind. So here's my Gen just doing his thing, and Ken is just kicking around, just kicking ass right now while my combos are being played out. Here we go. See here, I'm only at 84 million. Normally I'd be like 102 here with Enrage, or 103 million. So this is a little bit lower than what I'm used to seeing. But you see here, he takes so much damage and just keeps on coming, right? So this is with Gen as the main combo dealer. Now Gen is a pure damage dealer, while Gen is a main damage dealer, a pure damage dealer, while Gen is Ken is a bruiser, while Gen is a pure combo dealer, right? So I'm going to show you guys real quick the leaderboard. Oh, okay, I'm actually third now. Freaking Artemis. But here, I'll show you guys the stats here for this fight. So you can see here, just being in the background and just providing the support. Look how much he's doing. He's got more heals than anybody because he keeps himself up. He took a ton of damage, more damage than anybody else, and dished out almost as much damage as Bison, who's actually in the combo. So as you can see here again, Ken brings a lot of utility and damage to the fight. Now in PvP, he does just as much, right? So PvP, if we go to that real quick, and I just do an arena fight, let's go to, actually, you know what? Let's do sorry, Salty, I'm gonna have to fight you just to show this fight, but here we go. I might lose this fight because Salty's up there with me, but here, I'm gonna show you guys real quick. Now, right away, you can tell Salty has Zangief and Chun-Li, so he's gonna go first. He's got an advantage instantly over me in terms of that, so he's got a faster character, so there you go. Look at the damage that he caused right away, but this is where Ken kind of comes into play, and hopefully he can perform all of his skills to kind of back me up here. So let's see what the damage looks like at the end of this whole thing, okay? So there you go, fight's over. Let's see where we're at in terms of damage, okay? So if I go stats, look at that, matched up with Bison in PvP, right? Had better healing, took just as much damage as him, still survived. So as you can see here, damage, utility, amazing bruiser. All right, combo stats, if you take a look at that, he doesn't get shown, unfortunately, because he doesn't have combos, but Bison does 10 million with his. Again, did 6.4 mil, and then you can't see his, but all of his things are pretty much combos because that's all he provides. So 22 million in combos. So again, guys, an incredible character, easily top 2. If you do like this showcase, let me know. I'm going to be doing a Dawson showcase next, which is a free-to-play unit. But I wanted to show you guys what Ken's all about, why he's worth having on your team, whether he's SSS+5 or just there in general for you. Test him out. Have fun with him. He can bring a lot of utility to your team, a lot of power, and a lot of survivability, and is almost going to be essential late-game content. All right, guys, this is Payne. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, thank you for all the support, guys. It's great to be back, and I hope I can continue doing this. All right, take care, everybody.